welcome to Conversations here on NTA.
Nika, you can't be serious. Reduce that thing now. It's not that bad. I mean, we have enough. I'm worried. It's not that bad, please. There's a social distance between us.
I understand that, but where's your mask? I don't see it. Where's your own?
My mask. That's
We'll be talking about this. Yeah, because some people wear it in a particular manner that the experts are saying is not right.
I actually have lots of questions to ask about this, but we'll get there.
Welcome to Conversations once again. My name is Nike. I have Lizzie in the house and Cecil. We'll be talking about the myths that follow the COVID-19 pandemic. There have been so many stories out there. What's true, what's not. So many things. Just take your time to just sit back and relax. I promise you it's going to be a really interesting one. We'll be right back after this here on NTA.
When there's a child out there that's not getting the same that your own child is getting, the difference will tell, and there will come a time in the society where that child is going to take its pound of flesh.
Where you can actually, everything from watching a program with the child, you can start off the conversation from something on the TV and say, oh, you know.
For me, it's like, hurry up with this business. And the other one said, Auntie, it's not about me, it's about the guys. They're not ready to marry.
Yes. See if she wants to ask something. No, I know my mother very well. In fact, the most interesting one is when I put up pictures on WhatsApp, you know, Snapchat filters and all that, she will call me, remove that picture. There was a day, I got tired of all that and I
said, have you ever wondered why some men cannot finish using the towel and just hang it back somewhere in the bathroom? Why would they have to throw it on the bed? Little things like that they're put off.
Have you ever wondered why a grown man with a wife and kids will go to the toilet, the lavatory, to ease himself, to do number one, to pee, right? He takes the seat up, he flips out that thing. The moment he starts peeing, he flushes the toilet, right? The toilet does its own bit. The flushing is done before the pee is done. And 10 liters of water is wasted. The pee is still there.
Oh my goodness.
He doesn't put the seat back down. He doesn't reflush. He doesn't wash his hands. He walks away.
That's why I don't like shaking men, by the way.
There's a particular thing we know many men to be very, very guilty of, and that's throwing their shoes and stockings all over. Maybe men are going to be better, not throwing it around, but they can just, especially someone that have those smelly feet, and keep it for you in the living room. Women don't like it.
Conversations here on NTA, and
Nikki, I still have to punctuate you a little bit. I mean, I just don't want you to wear that thing where you're wearing it. I like not a daughter, she looks funny.
You have to admit, people are walking around with the thing around their chin. You've seen people wear it.
Even on TV, even those you think should know. Yes, it's true. Sometimes you see all those, those people who you think should know, and you just see them wearing it. So, well, they're naturally, everybody just say, okay, it's normal now. So
I think it's part of fashion now, so to speak. I see celebrities, like you said, people that you should know, you tune TV channels, people that are broadcasting, you know, the stand-up reporters and all that, and they fly. Like, for me, I fly the flag. That must.
I've never thought of it that way, flying it actually.
Yeah, so it's funny, they after everything. And, you know, I was watching the way you removed it. Yeah, they told us you have to remove it from your ears. So when you have to take it down to your chin, there is almost definitely you have to touch it. Yes. And does that mean when you touch it, it's contaminated? Well, the story is plenty.
It's plenty. The other one is this one. This is yours, right?
Yes.
The face shield. Yeah. You know, I don't understand it. I kind of like it. It seems quite. Can I?
Yes, I'll just sanitize later.
You sanitize later, okay. So I kind of like it. It feels good.
It's trendy.
And I like the fact that my makeup is not being smeared.
Yeah, exactly.
I noticed Nike's own has issues, you know, right there because the makeup's are there. So this one is actually protecting.
My lipstick.
But I'm wondering, how much medically can this protect me from the drops we are scared of?
Okay, Nikki, go.
Well, from what I've read online, ideally when you're wearing a shield, you should have a mask on as well. Just because the droplets are not going to, they don't come directly, they don't come in one direction, they could come in this way where the, spaces. So I think it's still better to, protect your nose and mouth.
Sister, when this whole COVID issue started, they told us that you have to wear a mask because when the saliva just, I even saw an animation the way the saliva goes. It goes like this. That's what, when they were trying to explain the 6 feet. So they explain how it's supposed to travel. That's why you need to wear the mask. Okay, no wahala. We now finally got the shield. At least before the thing goes like that, it will hit the shield and we are all safe. So I have that thought, I have that argument, and
let's just settle this matter. Let's go and join Dr. Chidimaka, find out what his own explanation, medically speaking, is before we have this argument.
Okay, all right.
Some people cover their mouth and then leave their nostrils and feel protected, but they're actually not protected because the virus can go through the nostrils or it can go through the mouth and sometimes through the eyes. So you have to cover all those 3 places. That is a risk of transmitting a virus when you remove masks and put it on in that way. In fact, if you wear a mask, you shouldn't touch your face. If you want to remove the mask, remove it from the back of behind the ear. You just pull the mask up. The face shield, it does not replace the function of the mask. So you must wear the mask to protect you from getting the virus into your body. The face shield protects you from anything splashing on the face, but it doesn't necessarily prevent or protect the person from getting the virus.
The doctor wasn't exactly too far from what we've been arguing here, but then he said that if we must use this, ideally you should have it. So we can still win the game.
I think so.
I know, but so if that's the case, the shield market will spoil now. So if I can as well wear this one, there's no point wearing the shield. I can saw someone promoting her shield on when the WhatsApp started. Say this is the shield that doesn't require a mask. She had those.
I see some they wear, and there's something on top here.
Yes, I've seen that as well.
Is like a foam. Yes. I see those ones as well.
I've seen that.
So, and speaking of that, when we said about COVID-19, a whole lot of things happened. We noticed that people washed hands so much. Yes. In fact, I told myself that at a point I was going to lose my fingerprint.
Exactly.
I was scared that if I go to the bank to collect my money and I needed to do thumbprint, they will tell me I had lost my fingerprint. Because I was not just washing, I was also applying sanitizer. I needed to protect myself.
So you sanitize and you wash, or?
No. I wash with soap, rinse with regular water, and then I now put my hand sanitizer.
Lindsay, seriously.
It's called double
I always assumed that was the right thing to do.
Seriously, no, because from the beginning, when the NCDC were running all those rules, protocols to say that washing of hand washing is 99% safe. Then the alcohol based is about 90 or some kind of percent. So there was even an animation and everything I saw on Al Jazeera one time. So somehow I already had behind my mind. So when I went somewhere, a big supermarket somewhere in town, and they told me that I should wash my hands outside. After washing, I got there, I said I have to sanitize. I said, I've just washed. But you have to sanitize, madam. Washing is safer. Madam, I bet you know when it's
and they could actually turn you away because of that.
Yes. So I just said, okay, no problem, I'll sanitize.
Like it's funny. Shops where I've seen this abroad where there are people that actually want to enter a supermarket or an establishment and refuse to wear a face mask. I've seen that in some American supermarkets.
You're going for I actually entered a supermarket today.
Really?
And at the point of payment, the cashier was attending to me. A girl was right beside my items and was making a call, and she didn't have a face mask. I was livid with anger. And I said, do you realize I was spitting into my goods? I mean, do I know what you have in your mouth? It may not just necessarily be COVID-19. It could be anything. And you're talking on top of my food. And it's not something I'm going to have to wash later. She was quite nice. She said, sorry, madam, and walked away. Continued with her call. I told the sales girl, the cashier or something, I said, next time, don't let people enter here without face mask. It's not good. And for those who wear it halfway, I still will not take it. If you are going to continue this way here, I would rather make myself not available. Okay, so we take a break now to get to find out what Dr. Chidokmaka said about washing of hands with soap and water, and of course, doing it my way, still adding your sanitizer. I'll be right back. Why are you laughing at me now?
It's one or the other. Yeah, you don't do the two. Obviously, there's no harm if you do the two, but what you just did is to wash your hand with soap, and any virus that is in your hand is gone. So using additional sanitizers doesn't add any value. So it's either wash your hand with soap, or if your hand is clean, visibly clean, not soiled, you can use sanitizers. Then remember, the sanitizer to use is one that's got about 70% or more of alcohol content. Anything less than that may not kill all the viruses. People should know that sanitizer is a chemical. You don't use that to clean your hand and then eat. Then you are introducing the chemical into your body. So you should wash your hand with soap, rinse the hand properly so that all those soap material is gone before you eat. You do not clean your hand with sanitizers before you eat, because you're just taking in the chemical into your body.
Well, I like the fact that the doctor mentioned wash your hands before you eat, because you know how it is, especially when you're snacking.
Yeah, and it's even worse when you have to do communal eating. I don't have anything against sanitizer, but as much as I know I've always wasted resources applying sanitizer on top of washed hands, I still exactly. Why are you laughing at me?
But that's wasting resources.
I'm wasting resources, right?
Because
and
how would you use? It's either you use sanitizer or you wash hand. And I always tell them.
This guy to
I always tell them that the best one is washing of hands. Because you're not even sure of the quality of sanitizer.
It is the matter I've been trying to explain to you.
When that thing came up, a lot of people know that sanitizer.
Yes.
Now, whether it is sanitizer or it's not sanitizer, people now trusted the sanitizer more than people know.
Very good. Let me say something I actually did. When the price of sanitizer just skyrocketed, like maybe 450% higher, I just quietly went to buy baby wipes, 900 naira.
Yes.
I bought my spirit. I emptied the spirit inside the baby wipes, closed the tin back, and that's what became my sanitizer. They wrote 99% on the spirit. So I'm sure I've made my own sanitizer. But because you see, according to my former boss, iri sanitizer around.
The one that I know some people do, they bought bleach.
No.
And poured inside baby wipes. Actually, I had the experience. Somebody gave me a baby wipe. I told me it was 100% proof. I used it, on my hands. Lo and behold, my palms were peeling. Seriously. I said, what did you put inside this place? He said, he put in ogogo and bleach. My hands peeled.
I wish the coronavirus would know what people are doing against it. Because this is actual concoction.
It is.
What we did was we had aloe vera.
Okay.
Yeah, aloe vera. And we had spirit poured into aloe vera. And it's okay, because I always saw it on YouTube.
Okay.
And it was a lot of people, the review said it was actually the perfect one.
What does aloe vera do again?
We got aloe vera gel.
The gel.
What does it treat? What does it?
It's burns. It's so many things. Your hair, your skin.
So we now poured that spirit that she used inside it, and we used it. So the good thing that worked. The price of aloe vera was a bit higher, but when you cannot plant it, the quantity is more than the regular sanitizer.
Yes.
So when we added the spirit inside it, it gave us, if we were buying this for 3,500, we could use like 4,000 to do 2 of these.
Okay.
So invariably we are saving money, and it helped.
Somebody called the doctor of money, just as you came in.
Yes.
When did you come in late?
Well, I had something on the way that
People was busy making money. And one of these days will ask you to declare us.
They have to declare for that.
well, that's not
Have
the
you heard
problem.
this bit about sex and COVID?
I have.
I have not.
Sex
So what did you
and
hear?
COVID.
Sex and COVID.
What I heard is that if someone is infected, there's this myth that if you sleep with a virgin, you will get cured. And so you just kind of wonder, is that why there's such a rise in the amount of race is going
Cecil,
on?
are you finding that difficult to swallow?
I am finding it very, very difficult to swallow. Come on, Ike.
It's a myth.
Not in Nigeria, maybe.
No, Nigeria it's happening everywhere.
I need to ask animals if so humorous. Who mistakenly brought out the mist? Who did this myth? Who did this myth? Because for me, what has sickness to
But
do
you
with?
remember the time of HIV/AIDS? There was this incident that happened to I had part of the United Nations. I worked with them a little bit. There was this rape thing going on again, even incest, because a lot of people believed that if you sleep with someone who's never known man, then it's possible you could cure your HIV status.
And they were distributing it.
You can imagine it.
This one, someone just wanted to justify the whole rape thing and to say this. I mean, come on,
It's quite sad when you hear these kind of things. And you can't help but wonder, is that why? Because the amount of stories and cases that are coming out each and every week, it's worrisome.
And you can be shocked that a lot of people believe that. A lot of people will just say it works without any scientific or spiritual. People will just say it works because we are good with somebody just brought up something, everybody lines up. Yes, it is. It's silly and sick for people to think that a man with COVID sleeping with a virgin would.
Or a woman who's elderly, who's not had sex for a while.
That's silly. That's silly.
It's crazy. But then you remember when Ebola came out, people were told to drink and bath salt. A lot of people
I remember that too.
Did you do
I remember, no, my dad sent me the text, so I was now wondering, like, does it even make sense? So I thought I would try the next morning, but I just...
Oh, you were going to try it?
I thought I was going to try. My dad did not stop. He will call you. Have you done it? Okay, now do it now. I'm going to do it. Call you 15 minutes later. Have you done it now?
Wow.
So I thought, okay, the next morning when I was going to work, I'll do it. But somehow I forgot and I just never did. It wasn't even making sense. I mean, is it holy water?
Some people will tell you, a lot of people died. Remember what happened with chloroquine? People got overdosed and Lutz had lots of bodies. I think they said about 20 people who overdosed of chloroquine trying to prevent COVID-19. I mean, we should have common sense. It doesn't make sense. And the worst one that actually hits me, where do people get this belief that you're too young to die? You're too young to die.
I refer to what I told someone yesterday. I said there's this factor in Nigeria that God loves us more than other people of the earth.
Yes.
So everybody believes that for as long as you're young, you're not going to die. Irrespective of what happened. That's why you see someone drinking, smoking, and living all manner of life. If you ask me, say, my brother, I'm still young, allow me to enjoy my life. He or she doesn't know that at that point in time you're enjoying your life, you're shortening whatever lifespan you have on earth. So you see people doing all manner of things, thinking that death is a factor of age.
When the whole COVID thing started, they told us that it was those the elderly from 60 and above.
Yes.
So those who were younger were very comfortable and just lived within the years, felt like, okay, fine, at least we are safe. And until we started seeing that the age bracket of this COVID thing is even was now coming within the workforce age.
Yes.
So it's even you, maybe because you're in the know, but I can assure you that even as we speak today, some people do not even believe it. They tell you it's a political statement. They tell you it doesn't exist. And they tell you even if I contract it, I'm still very young, I'm going to expel it somehow. But then luckily enough, we still have doctor in the house, Chidi. Let him tell us, the age factor in COVID-19?
COVID-19 is for everyone. It affects both young people, old people, children. But the only thing is, it affects the older people over 70 more, because it affects the lungs. And some people even have the symptoms without knowing. But remember, whether you're a young person or an old person, you can even get the COVID-19 and pass it to your family member who is at risk. And again, for people who have an internal disease, like type 1 diabetes, those people who take insulin injection every day, or people who are taking immune suppressing drugs like HIV, cancer patients, those people are at a very high risk of getting complicated COVID infection. So the young people should be aware that COVID-19 is for everyone, and they should take those precautions, because even if you survive it, you might pass it to someone who might get affected. But we also have a small number of young people who actually died of COVID-19. So the precaution is for everyone.
Okay, we're back. Thanks to the doctor. I really appreciate his perception on so many things, and it's good to always get a medical opinion on this, because there are so many opinions on the streets, so many, and I like the fact that he's telling you that young, old, teenager, baby, anyone can get infected. Anyone.
In New York, didn't you hear that an animal got infected?
Yes.
I missed that.
The lion
got infected with COVID. When I heard that story, I tried to read up more. I needed to see the symptoms. I needed to see the lion cough or sneeze. How does it sound?
No. The way we carry out our own research is different from the way they carry out their research. In Nigeria, we don't place much value on animals, but overseas there, the first word, I'll say, they follow up animals like they follow humans. So probably the lion would have exhibited some kind of weaknesses and other things that would have warranted the authorities. So, okay, let's go and know why this lion is behaving like this. Let's take samples. In Nigeria, if the lion had behaved like that, some of my people will come and say there is bushmeat and they will they took samples and the samples returned positive.
Wow. It's funny, but I'm wondering whether if an animal gets it, like a kind of chicken, we like chicken. If the chicken gets it, the cow gets it, and then we cook it, can I get infected?
How can you get infected when they say that if you have hot water, you cover yourself with hot water?
Oh, okay, so the chicken
will die now.
You have a point.
Does he cure COVID?
Scientifically, I can't say yes or no.
Africanically
speaking.
Okay, as an African, we just believe that we have our own cure, but scientifically speaking, NCDC speaking, it doesn't
WHO speaking. WHO speaking, they mentioned that the weather, or our weather, or what do you call it, the tropics, does not allow it that strength.
To thrive.
Yes.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean it kills it.
Okay.
So I think people all should be aware of there is COVID, and you shouldn't just have any reason not to be sensitive about it.
Yeah.
Whether it's now there's rainy season now, so even if you had sun, the weather has come. The Igbo weather has come here now. Has transported to theirs.
One question I've always asked is, does our rainy season translate to snow? Our temperature is still very hot. I know that even up till now, I still look for the AC before I sleep. At least that first 1 hour sleep, you sleep inside the duvet with the AC on. Then when it's completely night,
like this.
Look for I know my colleagues. So I know that if you're in foreign time, when it's cold, oh my God, you're looking for a heater. You're not looking for cold anything.
Once there was time in London, I just came in. It was a period of snow, and I came in and I was hot. I just went straight to my AC. But after 10 minutes, I was looking for. I turned it to switch it to heater because the heat was so much.
Oh, really? Did you go jogging for you to feel?
I walked very well, and I walked with all those
falls and everything.
So when I
You
came,
get to feel a bit of wetness, maybe around the armpit because you're heavily clothed.
Yeah.
But then the minute I pull it, I'm getting cold immediately.
Yeah,
I
when
was
you
hot,
enter into the
and
house.
about 10 minutes I had to look for my heater.
You know, but speaking of that, a lot of people have always believed that because we have African descent and then we have this tropic weather, that COVID-19 will not hit us that much because we have a thick skin and we have the sun to advantage. After all, they say vitamin D is actually very good for COVID. But the question I asked, and I took it to doctor again, is does the provision of heavy melanin on our skin actually makes us a better place to receive the vitamin D, from the sun? Let's hear his answer.
The black skin has got a chemical called melanin. That chemical protects us from the sun. But that chemical, by protecting us from the sun, delays production of enough vitamin D under our skin from the sun, compared to somebody who is white, who hasn't got that pigment. So black people, again, if you look properly, how many of us are exposed to the sun? Because a lot of people who are well off go from the home to the car to the office and under the air conditioner, so they're hardly exposed to the sun. Such people will lack vitamin D. So there's a lot of people who are black-skinned who have low vitamin D, and it's been shown that low vitamin D tends to be associated with the severe form of COVID, and even a lot of people who died from COVID were found to have vitamin D deficiency. So there are food supplements, there are food as well that contains vitamin D. Soya, black-eyed beans, some seafood. Vitamin D is also present in some nuts, cashew nuts, and some nuts, peanuts. There are different nuts, lentils. So it's all about getting a balance on what you eat, because you don't eat those things every day. And then also expose yourself to the sun, because with that you don't have to spend money to get the natural vitamin D. There are vitamin D supplements as well, but there are these other food particle substances which you can actually look up on the internet, the different sources of vitamin D. There are some seafood, cheese, but how many of us are eating those vitamin D rich food? Not that many people. So you find out that in spite of the sun we have in our country, we do not expose ourselves enough to have the required level of vitamin D. So people should get themselves tested first to even know the level of vitamin D in their system before classifying themselves to what level of vitamin D they may need. So what I don't want people is to go and start buying vitamin D and taking every time, because excess of everything is dangerous. A lot of vitamin D can cause calcium deposit, and that can cause things like kidney stones or calcium to be deposited in different parts of the body. So it's how one has to be careful with all that. In a nutshell, a lot of blacks are deficient in vitamin D in spite of the sun, because they're not getting enough of them. Yes, the early morning sun, up to 20 minutes, between 20 and 30 minutes is enough. You don't go basking yourself under the sun, because people get sunburn or suntan. That's not the type of sun. So then you'll be surprised how many people that actually get exposed to this level of sun exposure.
Apparently, the doctor says the fact that we're even black means that we're even more susceptible to being infected. So having melanin now is it a bad thing? So the light-skinned people they get the vitamin D.
In the US, actually, at the time, they said many of the blacks were actually
Yes, I remember that.
More prone to having it. Their numbers were rising pretty much.
But I did ask someone, they said because the blacks were more at the forefront. They were the ones doing the job more, and the frontline workers. Because they were the frontline workers, they were more exposed to. They were exposed to the. Yes, so that was why. Because if you check the history or if you check the statistics, you see that more blacks are the nurses, the health workers. We find them in most of the shops. We find them in places. So now, the more they are exposed to those who have it, knowingly or unknowingly, they might contact it. So because they were more at the front line, it exposed them to that. Because when I heard that, I had to call a couple of friends of mine who are actually medical doctors who live in the States, in the UK, and I wanted to get a feedback because my concern was that you have a lot of people over there.
Yes.
So I needed to know how they are doing and what their chances of survival and the chances of contacting it. So the guy explained that, yes, because we are the front line and we have our exposure to a lot of people who have this, whether we know or we don't know. So the chances are that because we may not have had knowledge of who has it, coming in contact with them might expose us more. So the blacks were more exposed also in contacting the virus.
Yeah, but really, this the blood group and the whole genotype thing, does it differ between the blacks and the whites? No, not just in COVID-19. I was listening on radio some days back, and someone was talking about sickle cell.
Okay.
Sickle cell is just something prone to Africans.
It's more of
More an African thing. So I'm not wondering, but we have the same, don't we have the same blood types and all?
It's the same blood types apparently, but going back to what he said, I am kind of I picked what the man said, the doctor said about our lifestyle. And I think I want to dwell on it a little bit. He said that we are blessed generally. We are blessed with the sun.
Yeah.
But our lifestyle makes it difficult for us to enjoy that blessing. You wake up inside AC room, your kitchen is even AC'd, your bathroom is AC'd, your car is AC'd, your office is AC'd, and of course, how do you know who the boss is? Because you have to press the button and somebody brings that thing. So the little time you can walk under the sun, we completely lose it. You know. So the respect of the fact that our skin is thicker, we have to take longer to absorb enough vitamin D. We still mess it up by not being active, by not enjoying the nature.
So what you're saying?
I wanted to differ a little from what the doctor said. What percentage of Nigerians have this privilege you just mentioned?
In fact, I was going to say that if my mom was watching this program, she'd be laughing because I don't sleep with air conditioner. I can't.
Air conditioner, I can't sleep.
I can't sleep with it.
Oh, really?
Wow.
So
I get cold very easily, so I can't. I get cold.
See, there is this other myth, or there's this saying, or the school of thought, who think that because of our lifestyle, that's why we are surviving it. You could see a Nigerian who has, it's a school of thought, not like it's proven. You could see a Nigerian who has malaria, he has typhoid, and he still comes out as a truck pusher. He still comes out, weathers the storm, and before you know it, he's going out to fend for what his family will eat. And at the end of the day, he goes to one nearest shop, gets one analgesics, puts in his mouth, or find one Mama Inka passing by, carries that ball and puts in his mouth, and he gets better. So because of, we are used to those kind of things, a lot of people, that's why you see a lot of people say, we've seen this all, we've seen the worst of time. We would have carried a lot of things worse than COVID. What is COVID? You see?
So are you of the opinion that there's something residual in our systems that is fighting it? Because that's what people are saying, that when we took chloroquine as children, that's what is...
No, for the purpose of our...
It's okay for us now. That's what people are saying.
What we're saying here, a lot of people will take it, so it's because of the sensitivity of this topic.
I know.
I need us to, I would want to place my opinion on what has been scientifically proven, or what it's actually, so that whoever is listening would benefit from it, so that I don't go give one brother like me out there an impression that you can live anyhow. But I would want people to restrict themselves to what the professionals in this have advised us, and we restrict ourselves to it. But otherwise, if I want to speak like a street guy or a layman, I'll tell you that Nigerians, or the black man, has some kind of strength in him because of there's a way you suffer. Your suffering now makes some other things not to come near you. Because I tell them, much as my son, like a humor, or much as it might bring humor to some people, a lot of things, the things we shout amen to in churches are things that have been provided by the government of the first world. Now, the things we call prayer points are not prayer points to a whole lot of other people outside here. So, because of the hardship and the kind of sufferings that we are exposed to. We see things like COVID as minute to what people are seeing. You know, a man in a morning, the doctor is having diarrhea, the other one is having typhoid, and he wakes up and moves out. His interest is not looking at the one who has diarrhea or the one who has typhoid. His interest is how to provide food for them and how to get Mama Yinga to prepare agbo and bring. And after like 2 weeks, or after like 2-3 days, you see the lady or the young girl who has diarrhea moving about. She's been okay without going to any hospital. So you tell this man that who has seen the worst of situation that there is something that is coming from the white man's land that will kill all him and his family. He will tell you, is it not the same? What is this compared to? Our exposure is why we are reacting to the way we are reacting.
Okay.
And you don't blame people.
Yes, we definitely don't blame people, but we must pay attention to what the experts are telling us. Because whether or not you believe it, as at today, more than 600 people are dead and gone in Nigeria from COVID. And we are lucky our number is still low. Yeah. Outside of this claim, they are counting dead bodies. I was listening to somebody, and the person was telling me, as of today, we have lost about 10,000 people. Yes. I said, do you mean you've recorded 10,000 cases? He said, no, we've recorded over 100,000 cases, but we have lost by death 10,000 people. As in, I said, is it human being or pack of people, or no, pack of a chicken inside poultry? He said, human beings. And to my amazement, a young boy that incidentally I know, 24 years old, is one of them, dead by that. And that particular boy, when I was talking with him some time ago, he told me, Mommy, just cool down. I'm O positive. Just when we're coming to, COVID has nothing to do with my blood type. And I'm wondering, where do we get this impression from? Is it actually real? Is it that blood group, is part of reasons why people should be careless? And then let's see what doctor has to say again. Dr. Chidi.
Yeah, no, that is not true. It doesn't apply to COVID at all. There are certain blood groups that protect against malaria, but not COVID. Yeah. So that's a myth.
When there's a child out there that's not getting the same that your own child is getting, the difference will tell, and there will come a time in the society where that child is going to take its pound of flesh.
Where you can actually, everything from watching a program with the child, you can start up the conversation from something on the TV and say,
For me, it's like, hurry up with this business. And the other one said, Auntie, it's not about me, it's about the guys, they're not ready to marry.
Yes. If she wants to ask something, no, I know my mother very well. In fact, the most interesting one is when I put up pictures on WhatsApp, Snapchat filters and all that, she will call me, remove that picture. There was a day I got tired of all that and I
Okay, thank you, doctor. So it affects all types, and it doesn't really matter what blood group you're in. Anyone can be infected with COVID-19. It's interesting that we're hearing all these things, and it's good that we keep hammering on it, because people hear and then they forget, and then you pick up another piece of information. Sometimes you pick up your phone and there's just so many things, so many pieces of information to process. So it's very important that we keep telling people these are the things you need to do. Social distancing, it's very important. A lot of us are forgetting. I was in the market recently and I was like, wow, it's like either we've forgotten or we're ignoring what's going on, or are we ignoring the numbers that are being announced on TV and on radio? It's really a cause for concern. Are we just too laid back over this issue?
You're talking, some people tell me that the numbers are magic numbers, fabricated numbers. I'm not telling you what I've not heard. I'm not telling you, on this same show, people write to us, telling us all manner of things. They say it's a government talk, that the numbers are not happening. They were not real.
Good. I remember I went to the market. Now really, Nike, let's face facts. How can they manage you can manage it in superstores, in supermarkets, but how can you manage it in open markets like this? So you just see people, even if you are trying to have a safe distance between somebody, someone just comes up,
Yes.
So how do you
shop
do that?
against you.
How do you do that? Or the guy that is selling the meat, just is spitting over the meat and is talking to you, or the ugu, I mean everything. So it's just all going to be messed up. It's going to be very hard in open market. The last time I went to the market, I was in a Vox Pop. The part of the myth I found there was someone said you use shea butter, you eat shea butter, and you lick it, put in your eye, put in your nose, and everything. So when she said that, I was like, seriously, say yes now. Then she will still drink ogogoro. Then I thought it was, I just said, okay, maybe that's just the sun. I asked another person. He said, yes, shea butter. I go, put shea butter for your hair. And when 3 people confirmed that, I was like, OMG, seriously? So,
and I remember going from shop to shop to, was there one person that was, for 3 people in one market to say that it's astounding.
You're talking about open market. There's a supermarket beside us here. I was there this morning to get a few things as I came to work. I met a man who was buying, I don't know the name, the brand name, but it's a kind of alcohol. Okay. A very strong one. I asked the guy, the face looked familiar, so I said hello. So I felt like I should, respond pleasantly. I said, why are you drinking that thing? Why are you buying that thing? He told me he's sanitizing his inside. I was shocked. Yeah. He was sanitizing his inside.
Exactly. The woman that drinks ogogo after market day, see that she has to drink ogogo because they say you still clean for inside. Since alcohol.
I was shocked, and I thought probably he meant he was going to pour it maybe in hand sanitizer or whatever. That guy, he was this short type, short bottle. He came when I finished buying. As I stepped out, he was just in front of the place, and I was gulping the whole thing, as in he took it like water.
Brother.
I said,
sorry, there were things I said when the COVID-19 thing came out. A couple of things didn't really go well, in my opinion. The awareness wasn't properly done. It was one-sided. And the act of living by example too. There were a couple of issues and incidences that happened, and you see that there, people telling us to observe social distancing did not observe social distancing in such incidences. So when you see the poor boy on the road, if I'm leading it, I say people should learn. Now, a lot of people, or in other countries, they say don't do. It starts from them. But unfortunately, in our own path, it looks as if that the law is meant for some people. And because of that, when a lot of things are not followed by except those who are supposed to do it, you see other people queuing on the line, on the same line, abusing it. Now, you wouldn't tell a man who has no other means of survival not to go to the market because of social distancing. Whereas there are areas people gathered for things that wouldn't feed anybody, and they did not observe social distance. So there is conflict. Now, our opinion, or my opinion, is that people, in observing social distancing, the authorities should learn to show people. There are organizations you go to today, people don't gather for meetings. That's leadership. And when they see people more than the number they will shoot, they give you query. And you don't need to come and say, don't gather, because you've led by example.
Yes, it's actually true. Just like each time I observe the PTF people, giving Mr. President their feedback, their meetings, I see the, golly, I said golly social distancing, between Mr. President and the rest of them. And I find that as a good example of leadership. If you're asking us to give social distancing, but what really annoys me is some people think because you say don't hug me that you're carrying me too far. People will see you, they want to hug you. People are so addicted to touching when they are talking, and you're saying please stay away, I can hear you.
Nigerians we're We're communal by nature.
That's why we are going to die as community.
No, we're not going.
No, if we continue doing that, I mean, we've been gisting here, there's a good distance between us, and we haven't died. There's no love removed. You don't need to come to my house to gist with me. There's a little thing called telephone. Yeah. If you want to do a video call, if you can, and if you can't, do a voice call, do text message. Why do you need to go and visit people? You know, it's about time we've been doing for decades, for centuries. Then you come one day and say, stop.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's very hard.
We are not like that.
Some of us from large families,
when you go to the US, you don't beg them to. They want to pray for their work off day to have time to be with you. But the opposite is in this place. We have time, lunch time. I leave my office and I come to your office and we're gisting. And all of a sudden something comes up and you say we shouldn't have time. My gist time with Liz that I've done for like 15 days.
No, but I mean, it's not going to be easy. But then remembering that you're helping me,
I know.
I'm also helping. When I say don't visit, when I say don't hug, when I say don't come too close, it could even be because I think I am.
Which is what should be.
Yes, I'm actually helping
People
you.
should learn
to do
the right thing now. Me, I move around with sanitizer. At a point, one of my colleagues said, use it and bath. Because for anything I touch, I sanitize. For anything you understand? Because for me, I thought it was necessary to do that. You understand? Now, people should learn to do the right thing. Now, and like I always say, it is, whether it is true or not, you have to live on the positive side, not to find out whether it is true or not. Because if you do it, you are living, if you're living hygiene, or if you're living a hygienic lifestyle, it is better for you.
Better safe than sorry.
Safer, because you would also protect your life, whether it's COVID or not. You're protecting from bacteria and other things. So it is an advantage. So instead of leaving yourself open because you think everything, why don't you cultivate that habit? For me, it has become a habit. Wash hands, do the COVID has changed a lot too.
It's just sad. It's just sad that once upon a time hugs and handshakes were expression of love. Right now they are acts of death, of what once upon a time we usually long for, and now it's quite distant.
And who would have thought Nigerians could actually hold events, hold parties with just 20 people?
I know.
That part I quickly want to add. I am very grateful because we waste money. We waste money doing events. Wedding that is between two people, we go and invite the whole world. And the whole world will come and eat. Do you know that 50% of the people that are eating your food at the wedding, some of them don't know you. Of course. Then they are going to they are looking out for something to go and say negative about the wedding.
Yes.
You know? So now you can actually bring in the people you call your close friends, 20 people, and you have your wedding. Save the money.
Exactly.
You know? You don't need to. Child naming ceremonies are no longer happening.
I jokingly said to someone, I said, if not for the death part of COVID, I would have asked that COVID continue because it has changed a lot. Economic-wise, our lifestyle, people no longer bother on what they wear.
Honestly.
It has affected some businesses in that area, but people now don't care if you're looking at me or if I'm looking. There's a joke I saw that said, if anybody had told lipstick that face mask will take its position, it will not. So a lot of things have changed.
Did I tell you I saw Nikki? I passed, I didn't know it was Nikki. She had face mask. She was coming, I'm like, who is this person?
I got to a bank and I was greeting the manager, who happened to be a long time friend, and she was like, welcome sir. I just removed my face mask. Oh, it's you. I just put it back. I'm like, oh, really? Is it you? So, it has changed a lot. And I wish people could learn that actually there are lots of things that we could do without. That's one of the things, one of the takeouts on COVID. Yeah. There are lots of things we can do without. You see this large, having people come for events that you see people killing themselves because they don't have food. And they're waiting for people to...
that food no reach me, there's no eating.
There are lots of takeouts.
We're almost round up. I just want to say, all the young girls and young boys out there who are, you've been giving excuses, I can't get married because there's no money. The time to marry is now. Do it now. The time to marry is now. Because you don't need to invite me. All you need to do is look for beautiful background, take pictures, post it on Instagram, post it on all the social media handle, and then make it look like you had a very big wedding. If you're the type that is crazy about big wedding. Otherwise, you can do your thing.
Yes.
And then we're having this lovely chat with Nikki.
Yes, that's true. I just, as you were saying that, I remembered the online parties that are happening now. So you just send a link and, hey, people can tune in and join your wedding, join your event.
I don't even think I need to do all that too. Just do your thing. Post the link. The online party, we need to bring the drink.
Nikki, it is your wedding, not the...
Not another person's wedding.
Do your wedding. The importance of wedding, the man, his wife, his ring, the minister. The rest are not needed.
Found a page boy.
You don't need all those. Frankly, people should learn to curtail a lot of things, and the hardship that COVID-19 has brought has also made a lot of people to realize that we could actually save. There are people who couldn't sustain themselves after like 1 month because they have a lot of things that they have a lot of things that they don't need in their lives, which have sucked their money. They get themselves involved in a lot of loans, a lot of facilities that took away the joy they would have had. So check your lifestyle. Know what you need. Get into what you need. Don't go borrowing. Don't go acquiring things that are not necessary for now. Restrict yourself to what you can.
COVID-19 has brought robots to our airport. I like that part. People will lose their job. Well, people will really lose their job. They'll find a way up. So let's respond, right?
Robots. It's not ideal.
I think that's about it. That's all the time we have today on the conversation. So we're talking about myths about COVID, the COVID pandemic, and it's been really interesting. We've had Cecil, Chukuma, Lizzie, all here with their thoughts, and of course, special thanks to the doctor and his medical advice and opinions on so many things. We'll meet you here in the conversations room another time. Thank you so much for joining us. Goodbye.